So friends, got a new knife I wanted to show you today, and it is from Reate. I'm not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce it. And to be honest with you, this is not the knife I ordered. I ordered a knife from DLT Trading, and they sent me this knife right here by mistake. All right. And on top of that, this knife is not the knife that the label on the box says, okay, because this is supposed to be Ultim, and it's supposed to have a Nitro V black PVD blade. All right, but that's not what we got. Here's what we got. Check this out. Okay, this is some kind of micarta, and I'm not really sure. It's almost got a green look to it. Green, maybe green and black. I'm not sure exactly. It's got this blue pocket clip, and it is kind of a nice deep carry. Check that out. Looks pretty good, don't it? Not sure if the blue really goes with the rest, but I like the clip. Okay, it's a little bit maybe on the short side, if anything. The screws aren't completely flush, but they look pretty good. They're rounded, so they shouldn't be snagging anything. Don't really have a whole lot protruding out of this knife, okay? But what's cool about this knife, all right, is it's like a front flipper. Check it out. Now, I'm not sure if it's exactly a true front flipper because of where the button is considered or in relation to the pivot point here. But here we go. Check this out, all right? It opens very nicely. All right, and on top of that, you say, well, what all is all this going on right here, John? Okay, because that looks a little different. And it sure is, because instead of having a liner lock or some kind of compression lock or a lock back, okay, and it doesn't even have a button lock. Well, it kind of has a button lock, but the button lock is in the pivot. Check this out. So that right there is your button lock. Isn't that cool? Check it out. Okay, or you could just open it with the button, like a normal button lock. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this design, and I can't really see a whole lot going on there, so I can't really vouch for the durability, but it looks pretty beefy to me. I mean, look up in there. That thing obviously has some pretty big bearings, and it's got a lot of support. I mean, that much right there is all supporting that blade, and it has no wobble. I mean, this thing really locks up in there nice. It's got these, you know, kind of like a thumb stud here, some kind of crossbar thing, and it's not something you can even use, but it does lock up real nice here. Look at that. Hopefully I can get that on camera. Okay, but it just kind of goes in there and just makes for a very stable knife. All right, and that's pretty much everything you got going on up here, because if you come down the knife and look through it here, okay, you don't have anything until you get these two spacers back here, these two posts. All that, I mean, it's kind of tight and hard to see, I'm sure, but there's nothing in there. All right, it is skeletonized. There's a little bit of a frame in there, but it's only about half of it. So it's not a very heavy knife. I'll get some specs and post them down here on the bottom when I edit this video. And check this out, even on this side here, you know, I don't know if that's something that they yeah, it is. So they mill a piece of micarta handle and press it in there. So that makes it solid right there. Pretty cool. Helicopter flying over right now. We'll let him fly over and go back to it. But I don't really have the specs on this knife because, you know, like I said, it's the wrong box. So I'm not sure what this blade steel is. There's the Reate on there. And it says Nitro V right in there. So not sure if you can see that Nitro V in there. It's pretty much a full flat grind. it does have this area right here, which makes it nice when you go to sharpen it on a fixed angle sharpener. But it's very thick stock. Look at that. So it won't be the sliciest blade around, but it will be a very nice sturdy blade. That drop point, almost more like a spear point, make it good for puncturing. And but unfortunately, that real thick stock. As you can see, let's look at that jimping. It's got a very fine jimping here, almost undetectable, okay, until you really push down on it, and then you can catch it. I would say it has a texture somewhat like those little cheap nail files, you know, when you rub your finger on it, they grab, but when you go this way, you don't feel it at all. So it's just kind of unidirectional. And once again, knife makers are starting to add a little bit of traction down there, and I like that. I've mentioned that in other videos, that when you grab a knife right here in the palm of your hand, that's where you need traction. And I guess they listen to me, because they are starting to put jimping down in there. And you know, I think I got, yeah, this is the knife I brought it on. So when I was I don't know, what, a year and a half ago, when I did this Manix 2 and I was doing my review, I said, man, the Manix 2's got jimping all over it, right? All over it, all over it. But look, it's perfectly smooth right in here. And that is where, okay, so I'm going to use the ball detent lock here, right? And I want to put it in my hand and pull that ball detent. That is right where I need the jimping, right there. All right, and they didn't put it on there. I mentioned it, and now I'm starting to see knife makers do a little better job. The other thing I really like about this knife is the shape of the handle. Once again, not to pick on the Manix 2, all right, but it is the knife I have here handy to show you. The way they bring up the end of the knife, okay, the Manix 2 is a pretty big knife, and it does fit my 2 extra large hand pretty good, but if my hand was any bigger, I would run out of real estate, because I'm taking it up completely, all right? Because a double horn, that's what I call it, a double horn. It's got 2 horns on the handle, one at each end of your hand, all right? It's not quite as good as one like this that just tapers down, because it doesn't matter how big your hand is. Even if my hand was twice as big, it would just taper off the end, and it would not create a hot spot for me. All right, so kudos to whoever designed this knife. If I can find out some more before I post this video, I will. But that's about all I know. And since we got another helicopter flying over, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. But I wanted you to check out this knife that I got by mistake. But it's pretty cool, and I'm glad I got it. Got to check out this pivot lock right here. Super cool. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope y'all stay safe out there. Thanks for watching.